think it's about time. It is 8:30, so we have a very special guest here on the show. Maureen is here. We are going to talk to her about a lot of FGC things. We're going to talk to her about CPT stuff, and we're going to talk to her about whatever this is.
You thought she was just a commentator?
Never.
Originally, she was.
Never just that.
Yeah.
Don't ever.
Oh, what is this?
She's always throwing.
Oh my God! What is that?
See, this is easy. This is yes.
How you do that?
He already solved the Millennium Puzzle. That was very easy. Yeah.
I was done.
Just put it together.
Frame one, I was done.
But you can't do that to old people though, because their joints kind of get like messed
creaky.
up. I know.
Maureen, thank you so much for joining me on the show. How are you doing? Oh, I think your mic may be muted.
Okay. No, I'm here. I am doing so swell. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I was not expecting that clip again.
No, I was there at Combo Breaker and I saw that happen and I was like, wait a minute. So, like, what's the deal with that? Is your elbow just like super bendy?
I'm double jointed on both elbows.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty freaky. Hey, but I know you're going to be at CV this year, so maybe you can see it up close, like when I do it in person.
We'll
so it's not an illusion on stream. Yeah.
Oh, that's so exciting. And honestly, that's like the best like mental mind game tool before a match. So kudos to you. So first of all, Maureen, for those of you that have been living under a rock, she is a great commentator who commentated in the CPT finals of this year. She's an amazing player who was sponsored by UYU at some point, and goes to tournaments and beats people up in the video games, and it's amazing. She is an XO Academy alum. So for those of you that remember, we had Persia on this show like years and years ago when XO Academy had just started. So it's great that we have an alum of the program so we can talk about it. And, all around amazing person. So I'm so happy you can be here on the show with us tonight.
Thank you so much. Seriously. Mm-hmm.
Nah, thank you. Hey, I want to start all the way from the beginning, right? You started in the Minnesota scene. My first question is, how did you find out about locals and where to go? And like, how did you find out about where to go to get like the local experience?
That's a really good question. I'm trying to like dig deep in my brain because it's been so long, I guess like how I really started out, I met this one guy who was like, into fighting games and all that stuff. And I guess like it really didn't interest me as much. But after we parted ways, I was like, I do kind of want to get into fighting games. That's really cool. It's because, obviously it's just something that like I really want to get into, like besides like cosplay and other like art stuff. So that kind of I don't know, I guess like it would be kind of weird saying like, hey, thanks to my ex significant other for introducing me to fighting games. Like it's weird, right? But all in all, like on the another side of me is like, I really love video games. Obviously, like we grew up playing video games, and it's kind of like, oh, I kind of like playing adventure RPGs, or I like playing racing games and all that stuff. But fighting games has just been really intriguing because it's just so universal in ways where you can come up with different kinds of combos, different kinds of characters that fit your style, and you're like, yeah, this is me, I'm her, or I'm him, or it's always fun just thinking about that. But I think that's more of like my gateway is, just being a video game fan and then having someone that had shown me fighting games in the past.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, and I asked that because like that's I think like the big unanswered question is like, how do we tell people where like their local scene is, right? So it's super cool that like this is, I think, honestly, like the big answer I've gotten, or most of the answer I gotten, is they just Googled it and found a Facebook group. So it's cool that like your story is a little bit different because it's word of mouth. But when you first joined and when you first started going to locals, I heard that there was a little bit of a pushback from the scene when you started going. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I feel like when you hear like pushback or just more of like an experience that I had being a minority in the FGC, because you know how the FGC is like very male dominant, I definitely had experience, misogyny, just someone that's just being a straight up asshole, just because it's like, oh, you're a girl, like, why are you in this scene? Are you here for attention? Are you here to like date someone? And it's just really tiring because, I was there because I really wanted to learn fighting games and I really wanted to see what kind of fighting game that I would get into. Yeah, it was just like kind of heartbroken because I never really dealt with that kind of negativity before. Because like when I was cosplaying, like everyone is super nice, like very sweet, and they're very open, not judgmental in any way. But again, just retracting back to being in the FGC, it's just really how should I put it, like difficult, or just like, wow, like this person actually said that to me. And not gonna lie, like after that happened, like I actually did cry. So, oh man, like why are people so mean to me? I guess like um maybe they've never seen like a woman play fighting games before. Like, obviously, like there's women playing video games, which is not like fighting games. So honestly, after that whole thing that went down, I was like, you know what? I really want to get better just so I can show them off. Like I really want them to shut up about, oh, women can't play games. They're like, why are you in the FGC? You're here for attention. And I was like, dang, I'm kind of sad that you think that way because, a lot of like really good at video games, and including, like men and, like anyone else in the scene, like you could get really good at video games if you put your mind into it.
Die by Sword in our chat says that he hopes you sent them all to the losers bracket, which I can only assume is what happened.
I think he just like vanished from the scene, which is fine. Like, bye.
I mean, sounds like a good solution. This is a bit of a loaded question, and I don't mean it to be such, but I'm bad at wording. In your opinion, do you think that like that misogynistic side of the FGC has gotten any better over the years, or is it still like just as bad as when you were starting out?
Like I don't want to say for everyone who has been harassed in the FGC, especially women who have dealt with sexual harassment or misogyny. Know for a fact that it's there, and I feel like it's always there because someone's just not going to like think in the same level as like other people. Like, hey, you should respect women, you should respect your trans folks, you should respect whoever that you meet. It's just always going to be there, but like from what I've seen, I think it's gotten a little bit better. A lot of people have been really understanding and like just like I don't care if you're a girl or a boy or like whoever you identify as, like we're just friends. That's all that I think about. So and so much better, but obviously there can be room of improvements.
Yeah, for sure. This is a question just because I'm the privilege sex, I guess, or like identifier. Is there like what are some ways that like people like me who go to tournaments but like don't have that experience, like is there anything that people like me can do to help like either like root out some of this misogyny or harassment or anything like that?
I just feel like oh man, now that I think about it, like obviously in-person events, you'll never see that happen because I feel like they're too scared to even like say something so head ass like that. But obviously like if it ever comes to that situation where it does happen, like like protect your folks, like just call them out on that and be like, hey yo, like that's not even cool, like you shouldn't say that. Because again, like I said, there are a bunch of people who are really understanding and more accepting of everyone in the community. I feel like it's hard to do it online because it's just someone behind like the screen or like just saying something and then just turning off their phone afterwards. It's really hard, but whenever it comes to something like that online, it's like they'll never come to an offline event ever, like they'll never see you, they'll never do anything. And I know like those words are super hurtful, but it's like screw them, like you're doing you, and of course you're helping other people to feel more comfortable in the scene. And that's what I have been seeing so far. As of like I guess like pre-COVID, it was kind of problematic. I know that I would be lying if I said it isn't problematic anymore now, but obviously like it's still there, but it's definitely gotten a lot better.
Okay. That's good. But yeah, yeah, I wish there was like a button we could just turn that shit off.
Right.
Let's get into like more like happier topics.
Yeah.
Your first fighting game was Injustice, and I heard that you're a big Nightwing main. What drew you to Injustice specifically to start playing fighting games?
Um. Oh man, like I would probably say like yeah, Injustice definitely holds a place in my heart because I played that game when I was really at my lowest, and it recently came out. I think it came out in the I can't remember. It was like was that on the Wii U? Like it was like way back when like I didn't even know like what would be the optimal console to like run Injustice or any other fighting games,
Mhm.
but I think yeah, that's what kind of like opened my interest into fighting games is where I want to play Injustice. I really like Nightwing, and it was a game that I played with a friend who really did kind of like sit down and like lab stuff with me and like train together. So yeah, very first fighting game, and definitely a game that will forever be in my heart.
Hell yeah! And are there things that you still apply as a player that you learned in Injustice in games today?
Hmm. Can't think of anything. Pretty sure I just mashed buttons and I just like only know one B and B. And I'd be like, man, I'm pretty nice. I think like the gist is like you gotta be confident. You gotta like I always like say to myself like I'm really thankful to be here to play fighting games and share knowledge or just show like how cool my Nightwing is or like
Mhm.
you can literally beat my ass with whatever character you're. So coming in with the is that I'm happy to be playing video games, especially fighting games with you all.
Hell yeah! Now I want to get into Exo Academy.
Yes.
So I know Exo Academy exists. I know Exo Academy is an academy, for lack of a better term, where you get a lot of support from coaching to like learning how to market yourself to like learning commentary. Can you tell us a little bit about what the process is going in and out of the Exo Academy? Like what's all that like?
Let's see. Obviously, like it's a very awesome program that Persia had built together a bunch of talent in the scene. Like commentators that they want to help you on commentating, or like pro players, or even crafting. Like I know they had or I got coached by Bambi Bitney on like cosplay help and stuff because like at the time I was doing cosplay and then also doing fighting games at the same time. But seriously, it's an awesome program because Persia was able to kind of like sculpt your thing. Like, okay, you're going to talk to this person this week, and then next week you're going to talk to this person, and next week you're going to talk to this person. And it's really nice that like they kind of like space it out where like you could be practicing like literally after your session with like your pro teacher or like your cosplayer teacher, etc. And then you can apply it to like future events or like future projects that you want to work on for cosplay. And it's been super fun. It kind of makes me feel like stronger of like oh man, like I should really start working on this and doing that, and, like just having a schedule. Really, it's really really nice, and I am super thankful to be on Excel Academy, and I hope that they like how should I put it? More events are coming back, So I hope we do see some more Exo Academy coming through for especially all those fighting games that we just watched. Mortal Kombat,
Yeah.
Guilty Gear with like new characters, and then Street Fighter 6 in the horizon. Like it'd be super fun to see some awesome talent on Exo Academy again.
For sure. And we're going to talk about Street Fighter 6 a little bit later.
Yeah.
Now, I love asking this question because I'm like usually people don't have an answer, but the people that do, it's like the most amazing answer ever. Like, what do you think in the FGC was like the pivotal moment where you went from like just being another player to like a tournament player, like where you go to tournaments and like you're gonna at least get this far, or you're gonna be able to beat like this type of player?
Obviously when I started out, I kept doing my local, and I was way too shy to enter what was it, like Combo Breaker 2015. It was when like 4 was still there, I played 4 before I played Street Fighter 5. I was too scared to enter 4, but a lot of my friends in the scene were like, "Oh my god, you should have entered! Like your jury's really good." I was like, I'm like too anxious, I'm too shy, and it's like I'm really um I don't know, like I know that this is like ignorant, but I assume that there are like some people that I would run into experience back then of that one guy that made me cry about like being in a FGC for attention. So obviously I was really hesitant to join. Um, but just going to tournaments beforehand when like I didn't really enter or like just attending locals and whatnot, I just felt that like a fire lit inside of me where like, man, I really want to like get good. Like I really want to keep playing. And then eventually like, I kept playing and playing and something just clicked inside of my brain. It's like I had my brain turned off the whole time, but it's like, wow, I found the switch. Just switch that on, and then you're like, oh man, I think I'm going on the streak here. So just thinking about coming as like a local player to a tournament player where like I know that I've beaten like Japanese players, like I've beaten Eita, I've beaten Dogura, I've beaten some other players from I forgot his name. Oh no, Dennis says he's one of my good friends. He's a really good M Bison from I think in Hong Kong. I think he's from Hong Kong. And from there I was able to kind of like apply what I know and like what I've built up from the ground up. So it's a whole lot. I don't know how to put it. It's just like something clicked in me and I was like, okay, I'm instantly a tournament player now.
Yeah. And I think in all my research preparing for this, I think I missed the point where, or the part where you were a cosplayer. How much cosplaying did you do before you started getting into the FGC?
I did so much because it was just more of an escape way for myself when like I was on my lowest and like I couldn't find anything fun in life. But I had friends who did cosplay and I did cosplay with them and it was just super fun to bring your favorite character to life. I know that I've done some Street Fighter cosplays. I actually did Jury from Street Fighter 4. It was like a long time ago. I can't remember what year it was. And then I also did Laura Matsuda. I think it was probably like the second year when Street Fighter 5 came out. But just a bunch of cosplays that really tested my limits and just saying like, oh, what if I can do this or do that? Just kind of like smart thinking, but being creative in the same time. So cosplaying, it's super fun. I love it. But I just love fighting games more, and I wanted to keep playing that.
For sure. Although we're seeing a lot of cosplaying happen at fighting game tournaments now, right? Like at Combo Breaker, where we're going in a week. Geez, I gotta start thinking about that. Like they have Rick always puts on a cosplay contest, right? And like that's always super neat to see. Like especially like for me, because like I don't know the first thing about cosplaying. But like every time I see like people who are super into it, it's like like it's the thing where like when you see somebody who's really passionate about it, like it's a little bit infectious, right? Where you're like, oh shit, this is cool. And I specifically remember at DreamHack, I was doing commentary for Tekken in like 2018, and like while we were doing commentary, like the cosplay contest was happening, so like all the cosplayers just like walked by us, and like. Those were like I think like some of them were like professionals because like they had like the giant like PVC armor and
I feel like at DreamHack it's like a semi no, I would be lying if I said semi actually like it's a pretty big event, so I feel like DreamHack or like PAX, they have a bunch of really really awesome cosplayers.
Awesome. We're gonna talk more about cosplaying offline because I have a couple questions about that. As far as FGC stuff. You've already like made a huge splash in the community, but now like you've been making like even bigger splashes because you've started commentating, right? So I want you to like tell me like what is it like to like have like the mentality of a player and switching, like what's different about the mentality of a commentator as like compared to the mentality of a tournament player?
Oh, that's a good question. So coming from playing and then into commentary, I feel like it helped me a lot, especially like just years of playing against like so many different people and like different characters. It kind of lit up some sort of knowledge for me to kind of understand like, oh yeah, Laura's blah 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 is like +2 if you do this or that. I feel like just coming from pro play to commentary has been like really, really awesome, and you get to like know a bunch of stuff. Like even from like a spectator point, you're just watching and you're like, holy crap, that guy did like, let's say like EXDP on Wake Up. Like, wow, that's like really smart. He is not respecting him. um, it's it's been super fun, and obviously like since Street Fighter 6 is coming into the horizon, I obviously want to like play more before I kind of do like more commentary work, because I want to understand the game inside and out. And just trying to apply my knowledge as like a pro player from a standpoint, because I know that when people watch, they've seen like Ultra David and James Chen, legacy commentary, and they've been there for a very long time. Obviously, I know that Ultra David plays a lot, and then James Chen, he does play here and there, but it's really nice to see someone that is more of like in tournament play, I guess, like from the ground up. Like I was a player to start out with, and then going into commentary, it's definitely been a challenge too, but you learn as you go, really.
And all of your work doing commentary culminated this year. You got to commentate Capcom Cup. Like, what was that like? Because that's like the big thing, especially being like the last Street Fighter V Capcom Cup. Like, what was it like being in the room and like getting to commentate some of those crazy matches and seeing like Zen win the last chance qualifier and all that stuff?
Oh my gosh, yeah, oh my gosh, I can't even like obviously I want to talk about it, but it's like I can't even talk about it because it's just like so hype, I'm like, holy crap, like there's only silence in the room because you're just in awe of what's happening. But yeah, like seeing Jen win the LCQ, literally his first offline international tournament, he just showed up. Like he literally just got off school and then just took the plane over to Burbank, California, played an LCQ. He's like, oh, I made it. I was like, dude, you should be happy. What are you talking about? It was so funny talking to him. Like he's super sweet though. He's like a really like how should I put it? Like remember in like high school, there's always that like quiet kid, and if you talk to him, you talk to him. Yeah, he's like that. But yeah, like just being at Capcom Cup in general, like it's been super fun, and like I really enjoyed it a lot. I know that there were a couple of times where like I was like really nervous, I know when I commentated one of the segments, I was definitely super nervous because like I didn't have time to prepare for like what matches were to come, and just more of like explaining the lore between X player and like how they got here, etc., etc. But overall, I feel like just because I had like nervousness or feeling very anxious, I still had a great time though, because you're interacting with a bunch of people in the crowd, and you're making connections, and you're also doing like analysis. Like I know I did analysis with Rob TV on multiple occasions. That was super fun, super energetic dude. I love that dude. But overall, just being at Capcom Cup, it's super super fun. Even like it was throughout like the week, on the weekday, it was actually really nice to kind of like unwind after work, because when I was there, I was working in the hotel room, just like, working on half days and all that stuff, because like my commentary block, or like just being there in person, was probably, I think, like around like 2 p.m. Pacific time. So it was really nice to kind of like, yeah, unwind after work and just like hang out with everyone, watch fighting games, and literally seeing like all the players that you don't really see every day, like international players. Like for example, what was his name? I think it was Kamal, where he was literally playing on the keyboard, just straight up keyboard. Like it was not even like a leverless or anything. I was like, dang, he's getting ready to type his college thesis or something. Nice. Like he's going ham on that. It was pretty cool. But yeah, I know for a fact that next year at Capcom Cup, I'm pretty sure they'll do something bigger and better than ever. Because I feel like if they were able to have Street Fighter V as their like last CPT, how should I put it, like a blowout or whatever, be like, yes, we're like sending off Street Fighter 5. I feel like they're gonna do really big for the start of Street Fighter 6. I just know for a fact, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, there's $2 million on the line.
Yeah, there's so much money.
I do want to talk about the CPT stuff, especially since like there's a lot of topical stuff.
Yes.
To talk about as far as the CPT. But I really wanted to ask, because like what is the difference between commentating at something like Capcom Cup or commentating at like a big major or like a local? Is there like any like commentary difference? Like matches aside, of course, but like is there any big difference with like how commentary works in something like that, like a Capcom final?
All the to start out with, yeah, all the times that I've done CPT online, it would actually be like in person, like at the studio,
Mm.
and I feel like the pressure was on because like more than like 5,000, 10,000 people are watching, and the thing is, I'm not nervous because of like, let's say, like the Twitch chat or YouTube comments that are making about me or like my co-commentator and whatnot. Like, I really don't care about that. It's just more of like, I want to be able to address like what we're seeing to people who've never seen Street Fighter before. They're like, oh, what is that like energy ball thing? Like I
Hmm.
obviously would like talk about like, oh, like this person, or like let's say Tokido, like he's just throwing out fireballs just to keep his distance and building meter, blah blah blah. It's just that's the only thing I'm worried about most of the time where like I am commentating those kind of things is to like kind of bring out my thoughts without kind of like how should I put it, like word vomiting or
Hmm.
like vomiting my thoughts and stuff, or like I have to pick up the pieces and like put it together. So that's one of the things that makes me really nervous about doing CPTs. But it's gotten better. I've gotten used to it, but I would be lying if I'm not nervous doing those. But compared to locals, like I've commentated Bruce Lee, one of Odeon's tournaments. I commentated what was it, close to distance, and some other tournaments as well. Those are really fun, just really chill, like hanging out with one of my best buds and just
Hmm.
shooting the shit. Really, like it's just super fun and like it feels more relaxed. Maybe
Hmm.
because I'm really familiar with the people that I'm commenting with. Well, obviously, like on online CPTs, like I know like the co-commentators and like we're cool and all that stuff. We talk, but for local ones, it's just I don't know. It's just like really chill.
Hmm.
Maybe because like for the CPTs, they have people talking in the headsets, like,
Hmm.
hey, we're gonna go into ad break, or like, hey, we're gonna do this or that, or um it's just how should I put it? It's like I'm listening to another voice, but also trying to like talk to the
Hmm.
audience that are watching the CPTs. So locals, pretty chill, pretty fun, but for CPTs, also really fun, but nerve wracking for me in a way.
Yeah, it's like a different type of fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So speaking of CPT, let's get into it, shall we?
Yeah.
Because they revealed the format of the CPT along with a couple of details, and we have a graphic right here. So this year, 48 players are going to make it all the way to Capcom Cup. Some from an online premiere, an offline premiere. The World Warriors stuff is coming back, and the Last Chance qualifier is coming back, of course. Thank goodness, because without a Last Chance qualifier, like how do tournaments even work without a Last Chance qualifier, right?
Mhm.
Are you actually let's go into the
Yeah.
stuff that's causing a tizzy out there in the FGC world. So here are the details for the CPT final or the CPT and how everything is going to work. Let's zoom in. So online premieres, online 1v1 tournaments held in 18 regions worldwide. The winners of these regional tournaments will all earn a spot at Capcom Cup X. We'll come back and talk about that. Let me get through the rest. Offline premieres, 3 offline 1v1 tournaments, including the EVO Championship Series. The winner of these tournaments will all earn a spot at Capcom Cup X. The World Warrior Series, 5 open tournaments will be held in each region where players can earn points for participating. The 5 regional events will culminate at a regional final featuring the top 8 players from the local leaderboard. The winners of these regional finals will all earn a spot at the Capcom Cup 10. And, of course, the Last Chance qualifier, offline 1v1 tournament held just before Capcom Cup 10. The winner of the tournament will earn the last spot at Capcom Cup 10. So obviously, I think the big thing is 18 online premieres, only 3 offline premieres. That kind of seems like it's a very bizarre step going into something like Street Fighter 6. What do you think?
Hmm. What do you think about it? Like Street Fighter 6 is coming out on June 2nd. Um, And coming through midway of the year, I feel like it makes sense. Like, obviously, I love seeing people super passionate about wanting more offline events, and they're kind of like hounding at Capcom, like, "Wow, why do we have 3 offline events?" I mean, like, that's great. I'm really glad to see you're passionate about it. But at the same time, when you think about it, they probably like check the schedule multiple times. Like,
Mhm.
hey, I know we're releasing this game midway of the year. I think we can only do 3 events, but they're also making it up to have online CBTs and World Warriors, and having an LCQ to make up for those 3 offline events that we have for this year. Now, if we how should I put it? If they had released Street Fighter 6 literally after Capcom Cup, I know for a fact that it wouldn't be 3 events. It would be
Mhm.
more than 3 events. So it's definitely understandable. I know it's pretty I'm pretty bummed out about it too, but now that I think about it, like, just seeing the CBT really lights a fire in me, lights a fire in everyone else, and
Mhm.
they really want to compete and see what they can do in a brand new fighting game. So again, I feel like, how should I put it? Like, I don't know. I feel like people are just kind of overthinking it in a way.
Mhm.
I'm just like, man, I'm gonna try to enter. Maybe I'll win $2 million. I don't know. Like, let's mess around and find out. You know what I mean? Like, um, so yeah, again, like, it's really nice to see that Capcom is holding up to the World Warrior and online CPTs, because there are regions out there that don't even come to offline tournaments here in the States, and
Mhm.
they're killers. Like
Yeah.
Jen, like, he literally came from China all the way to Burbank, California, just to win the LCQ.
Mhm.
So good, seriously. So it's really exciting to see that they are still holding up to those online tournaments.
Yeah. Another big topic of discussion is since the online here I'm gonna pull it up just in case.
Yeah.
Since the online premieres, the 1v1, although it's weird that they clarified that they specified that it was 1v1, makes me think there's team tournaments coming back. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
But online 1v1 tournaments held in 18 regions worldwide. There's been a lot of talk, especially from a lot of pro players who have the means to do this, about traveling to specific regions to compete in those online premieres. Do you have any thoughts about something like
Oh
that?
man, I feel like, I don't want to say that it's scummy, which, like, it kind of is, because it's like you're not from that region. But I feel like Capcom would make sure that, like, you're registered as like a U.S. resident or something like that, or you live in Japan, you live in Brazil, or whatever. I mean, like, if they're able to find like some sort of loophole where they're able to join those online CPTs if they were to fly into the States, I mean, like, I'm just casually watching you. That's all I'm gonna do. like if you're doing it, my mouth is zipped up. I'm not even saying anything. But hey, people do want to, like, really compete, and like, they literally seen the pot, like $2 million. Like, that's a whole lot of money. So I mean, if you're able to find something, like, more power to you. I'm just gonna, like, chill.
Yeah, because like I think I see it from both sides because like I totally get like having the regional thing, right? Because they want like a breadth of people from all around the world. But also, like, if you're somebody who lives in a region like Japan and have to do like Japanese online premieres, like, why not just travel to somewhere else where there's not as many
Sure.
killers, right? And especially with something as big as like $1 million on the line, right? That's a lot of zeros and life-changing amount of money. I feel like people are just gonna try to do as much as they can to try to at least get to the finals, right? It's it's weird and it's interesting. And since this is the first iteration, I'm curious to see if Capcom's going to do anything maybe next year about, or even this year about, like, preventing people from doing something like that.
No, yeah, like, now that you pointed out, for sure, because like I said before, if you're registered as, yeah, like a U.S. resident, or
Mm-hmm.
living in UAE or in Japan, yeah, then they would definitely check to see that if you really do live there, then they would let you compete in that region. But I think, yeah, for now, like, Capcom is just kind of releasing the schedule, because that's what a lot of competitive players want to see, because they want to plan their trips accordingly. Also, Evo being a given that it is going to be part of the offline CPT, because
Yeah.
they already did their reveal and all that stuff. People are definitely going to plan on coming to Evo. That's going to be huge. Because, like, remember when Street Fighter V came out, there was more than 5,000 attendees just to play Street Fighter V.
Yeah.
So I wonder if we're gonna get that much people playing Street Fighter 6, or just still, like, a bunch of people are still gonna come through and play.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm also thinking about the other 2 offline events that are gonna be in the list. So it's for Evo. I thought it was like part of LCQ, but LCQ is its own thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it might be like CEO in the list, because I feel like CEO is like a little bit too soon
Yeah.
to kind of like negotiate things. But I could be wrong. If it's at CEO, cool. But oh man, I don't know. Just like thinking about it gets me so hyped up because I'm really excited to compete.
Yeah. I can't think of like what it would like where they would be, right? Like I'm assuming it's probably going to be like one in the US, one in Europe, and one in Asia somewhere,
Oh,
right?
right. Mm-hmm.
I'm super curious to see how that all shakes out. But another big topic of conversation, we've been talking about, the pot, life-changing amount of money. They finally released how the pot is going to be divvied up. And a lot of people have a lot of things to say. Here's what it looks like. First place taking the 7 figures, 1 milli. Second place taking 300,000 smackaroos. Third place taking 200,000 smackaroos. Fourth place taking 100,000, and then the very big gap of one entire digit of between the fourth place 100,000 and the fifth place $10,000. Seventh place $7,000. Ninth place $5,000. 13th $4,000, and competing in Capcom Cup 10, you get 2,000 smackaroos. Now,
Man,
that is a huge leap, but at the same time, it's like, the $1 million has to come from somewhere, right? And still, I think the fact that it's one entire digit, I think, is very like eye-opening. However, like $10,000 is still a shit ton of money.
it really is a lot of money. Yeah, and like also being qualified for Capcom Cup, like here's your free $2,000. And like I know for a fact that like if you're going to Capcom Cup, you do get flown in
Cool.
from Capcom. So yeah, so you're literally getting a free trip to wherever Capcom Cup's going to be at, and then you just get $2,000 just to spend money or just use it, whatever. So it's nice, but seeing that like fourth place to fifth place jump, I'm just like, wow, that must suck, especially like when you're really close to getting fourth place and you just get $10,000. I mean, like again, like it's better than nothing. You're
Right.
still getting money, you're still getting place, and you're literally like the best fifth player in the world, or like one of the best players. So I think that's something to like not beat yourself up on. Like you're getting money, you're showing people that you're a really strong player, and that obviously you're going to compete to do better. So that's all I can say.
Yeah, no, and Beautiful Eric in the chat points it out too. It's like all of the places below fourth are tied, right? So there's 2 people earning 10,000, 2 people earning 7,000, and so on and so forth. So that makes a lot of sense to me, like thinking of it that way. But yeah, like, oh man, the difference between $100,000 and $10,000, whatever match that is, I'm sure like there's going to be extra pressure on those people, whoever they are.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And like a lot of people were making jokes about, oh man, you did that EXTP, but they read you like a book. You're going to throw like the $100,000 away like that?
Oh,
damn.
man.
But no, that stuff is just so hilarious to me because, again, like you're still getting money, but at the same time, it's like that jump and then you just don't get fourth place. It's totally understandable that you'll be salty because if I was in that position, yeah, I'd be super salty too. Just like spending like a $500 tomahawk steak and just crying. Like, I mean, it could have been my $100,000.
I only get 10 more of these. Oh man. So CPT is right around the corner. Super excited. What else is right around the corner is Street Fighter 6, of course, and big beta weekend happening starting tonight or tomorrow, depending where you live. Are you going to be playing the open beta this weekend?
I genuinely don't want to play in the beta because I'm waiting for my girl Manon. Grapplers all together. So yeah, we're waiting for Manon, but just watching like previous beta videos when it was in closed beta, I am thinking about trying Jury this time. Just because I played Jury in 4. I really wish I played her in 5, but I just did not like her. But in 6, she looks super sick. So I'm definitely going to try her out, just like do some training, B&Bs, drills, and all that stuff. Play with a couple friends. But I'm not going to play like too heavily into it because I don't want to like overcommit on the character that like I don't want to play. Like
Right.
if I love Jury and I play her a lot, I'd be like, yeah, that's cool, but I really want to save my my like skills or just kind
Mm.
of like a spot in my brain for Manon. So just chilling.
Yeah. No, I was definitely gonna ask about Jury because yeah, like I haven't touched Jury much, but I fought against her a lot when the betas were out, and man, she is like completely different from Street Fighter Five. Like she seems closer to her Street Fighter Four because she has like the multiple Fujinhas and she has her dive kick back. It's like so let's move into Street Fighter Six. Obviously, like a huge difference from Street Fighter Five, and like when did you start playing in Street Fighter 4? Was it Ultra or were you playing like Arcade Edition?
Um, I believe it was I started picking up Street Fighter 4 when it was about to close up shop.
Okay.
I think so like Ultra, and then they
Mm-hmm.
released like the Omega version afterwards,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's where like yeah, that's like, kind of started playing a little bit. But man, Street Fighter 4 is such a good game. I really love Street Fighter 4. Like I wish they had or how should I put it? More of like I can't wait to like just watch some Street Fighter 4 Combo Breaker. I know it's like a side tournament, but it's always fun to watch because I feel like Street Fighter 4 is like really hard compared to 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and there's been like a little bit of a Street Fighter 4 resurgence, right? Since Street Fighter 5 is at the end of its life, like a lot of people like have went back to Street Fighter 4 waiting for Street
You
Fighter
know
6.
why? Yeah, for Street Fighter 6 because like there are some mechanics in 6 that are very similar to 4. So I wonder if they're kind of going back to 4 to see like let's say for focus attack.
Mm-hmm.
I know that they have like someone like a focus attack in 6 which is the drive impact.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if people are just kind of like going back to 4 playing the mechanics and kind of getting familiar with it before they go into 6. But hey, 4 is a really good game. I love seeing people play 4. Keep playing it. I love it.
So let's get into Street Fighter 6. Like, do you
Yeah.
have any thoughts about Street Fighter 6? Like, what is like your gut reaction to Street Fighter 6? Especially seeing like how different it is, right? With the drive meter and all the crazy drive mechanics. Like, what's your gut instinct telling you about Street Fighter 6?
Well, obviously, it's a very beautiful game. I am so happy that Street Fighter Six is looking pretty snazzy. I say that because I know that they have the classic and modern controls.
Mm-hmm.
I think this game is going to be really good for beginner players or just people that are just wanting to, mash buttons. But hey, I did hear that like you won't be able to mash your inputs anymore. Like you actually like have to like do the thing.
Really?
Correct me if I'm wrong because like that's what I've read on Twitter. Have to find a tweet again, but yeah, like you can't mash anything anymore, so you actually have to like do the inputs and whatnot. But I could be wrong. Like they're doing an open beta test and they're going to use that just to see like what they can updates, what they can revise on before they release the full game.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, no, like Street Fighter Six is oh man, like I'm so excited to get my hands on it because I know that a lot of people are saying that it has a mix of like Third Strike, Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 5. Maybe like a little bit of Street Fighter 5, but maybe like mostly Third Strike and Street Fighter 4 together.
Mm-hmm.
But it's looking pretty beginner friendly in a way. Yeah, like having modern controls and all the characters that you can mix up with. That's why like I really want to play let's say like Manon, just trying to see if I can come up with like footsies or like foot mix up footsies, doing like drive impact or like drive cancel and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how to put it. It's looking really good and I'm really excited to play it with like everyone else.
For sure. And I wanted to ask about the Manon pick. Is the Manon pick related to, I think you played a lot of Laura in Street Fighter 5, right?
Yes.
So is that why like you heard like hit grabs or grappler with high mobility? Is that why you're leaning towards Manon?
Well, like she's a grappler, and I feel like I've turned into a degen grappler because a lot of people always see grapplers as like really stinky players, and I'm like, well, you're not wrong. Like they are kind of stinky. But for Manon, no, like I think she looks really cool. Obviously, I'm a little sad that she doesn't have like a fireball because in Laura she has a fireball where, let's say for example, like your opponent is just kind of like spaced out and like can't move because like the fireball is literally in your face, which is like proxy blocking. Manon doesn't have that, but her footsies look pretty good. I know that some of her target combos are really easy to react to like press another button again, so you have a lot of time to kind of do your thing. But also, like Manon has like those metal systems too.
Mm-hmm.
Like once she's reached her max metal system, like she does a crap ton of damage, and I'm just like, hey, that's really nice. But when I think about it, like another discourse that I also wanted to kind of like slowly bring up is a lot of people were saying that they wanted to do a best of 3 out of 5 for that type of thing, but it's like, do you guys forget that Manon exists? Once she hits 5, like you're kind of like screwed.
Yeah, and like her medals don't go away between rounds. It's so crazy.
They don't. Yeah, that's why I was like, why do you want best of 3 out of 5?
Well, and I'm glad you brought that up, because that was a point of discussion that we had a couple days ago. I think it feels so bizarre that people are already like trying to claim best 3 out of 5, best 2 out of 3, whatever, when the game hasn't come out, right? Like, and we don't know how it's going to play in a tournament setting. Like I feel like we've seen like how it can go on a bit of a negative with Guilty Gear Strive, right? Because right out of the gate, that game is best 3 out of 5. And it seems like even in pools, like pools take forever, and it's like it just feels like it drags on a little bit too long. Do you have a preference between like 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 5?
2 out of 3, because like I agree, because like it would take too long to get through pools, because you're just like there to play and then like be on your way. Or like if you're gonna keep winning and winning and see how far you go, like that's really awesome. It's just I know from like a previous tournament when they did 3 out of 5, they weren't done until like 4 to 5 hours later, or like even more than that. And I'm just like, that's so tiring. And like I kind of feel bad for the TOs too that have to kind of like babysit the players, or like the stream organizers, technical people and whatnot. Like I think 2 out of 3 is really good. I just feel like when you want like 3 out of 5, it shouldn't take you that long to adapt. You know what I mean? Like you should really just focus on playing 2 out of 3, and like just really learning like the mental challenge that you have to go through to kind of beat your opponent and see what they're doing. Because I think that's like really, really fun, because you really got to think from the get-go, like, oh man, this guy is like being really defensive, I should do this or that. Like again, like I also do like 3 out of 5, but I just feel like it's not logical in a tournament standpoint.
No,
well, like obviously, like winners finals, losers finals, yeah, that's totally fine. But like just through and through, I don't think so.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with the finals. Yeah, keep it 3 out of 5. But I think even from a spectator perspective, like seeing stuff being 2 out of 3 makes things feel like they're moving along a lot faster, and it keeps things interesting, right? Yeah. And I feel like, I don't know, there's a maybe I'm like being a little too harsh when I say this, but it feels like the discussion about having it being 3 out of 5 is just a little bit of like a player circle jerk, right? Because it's just like, we're gonna play more. So that's my take. I don't know.
No, like I kind of agree, because it's like a player circle jerk, and they want to like play more just to see like what they can like bring out of their encyclopedia. It's like, I didn't show this guy like this mix up that I did like 2 days ago. I was researching and labbing all that stuff, but I'm just sitting here like, like there's people that are here to play, and they want to like get through their pools and go do other stuff. So like 3 out of 5. Pretty cool for winners finals, grand finals, loser finals, but just through and through, I don't know. Like I would probably age throughout the whole tournament and just be like 20 years older or something.
Yeah, I'm super happy we agree. Hooray! So we are a little bit over. I'm so sorry for going a little bit over.
Oh no, you're good. You're good.
I have one question from the chat from the patron saint of Best of 5, Die by Sword. Die by Sword wants to know, what do you think about the Mortal Kombat 1 announcement that happened this morning? Do you have any thoughts?
Oh, man. It looks so cool. Like, I'm so hyped for Mortal Kombat fans. Like, you guys are Ian, or like, just fighting game fans. Like, we're literally Ian. But when I was... I usually wake up around like 6 a.m. or something. And oh, yeah, there's a Mortal Kombat trailer coming out. And I was watching it from my bed. Oh, that's so cool. I was still waiting. But like, as I rewatch it again, I was like, dude, that game looks freaking amazing. Like I'm so excited for you guys to play it. Like obviously like gory and all that stuff. I squeamish whenever I see that, but that's like literally what Mortal Kombat about. Like that's their staple. So man, it just looks so good. Like I'm really excited for you guys.
Well, you started with an NRS game, right? So are you going to try out Mortal Kombat 1 at all?
I kind of do because they were explaining how they have like cameo characters, characters, and I'm like, oh, that's actually really interesting because like I don't think any like Mortal Kombat games did that ever, right? Like this is the first time.
Yeah, I think they had like supplemental stuff like in towers and stuff, but never like the core game. Yeah, so I don't know.
So cool.
I'm excited too. It's like we watched it this morning on stream, and like I had to watch it like 4 times to like digest like how different and how crazy everything looks.
Yeah, like it looks very well, like realistic, obviously, you know, like just having like all the characters that don't look like, you know, comic-y or like anime and all that stuff. But you know, it's a great time to be alive because, you know, consoles, you know, computers and all that stuff are like you've seen like Unreal Engine or like current Unreal, it looks so real. So just seeing like Mortal Kombat, people were like, oh man, everything looks really, really good. Again, words for it because I'm exhausted by how like excited I am. So again, like it looks amazing. I can't wait to, you know, yeah, like even try out like the beta or like if there's a demo that's coming out, definitely want to try it. So yeah, seriously, like fighting game fans, like we are literally eating.
For sure. No, I love the memes of like the guy at the barbecue with like 3 plates.
Oh, he's like full of I love that picture. I was like, man, I want to manifest that energy, eat all that food.
100%. Marine, I'm so happy we got you on the show. This was super duper fun. Before you split, what's next? Like what are you working on that you can talk about?
Let's see. I don't think I'm working on anything at the moment. It's just, you know, I'm just vibing. Like I know that I'm really quiet on social media, but I lurk a lot, or like I just like seeing artwork on Twitter, and I just do that. But also, you know, I am going to Combo Breaker. I will be there next weekend, so if you guys are there, don't hesitate to say hi because I would love to meet all of you guys. You guys seem really awesome. And then you also see me at Evo. So nothing much so far besides kind of shutting everything off just to play Street Fighter 6. So I might be too quiet because of that.
And for the people that don't know, what's the best way for them to see what you're up to? Is it Twitter, or like what are your socials to send to the peeps?
I would probably say mostly Twitter. I'm mostly active on Twitter. My handle by telephone, it's the same as everything on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. But yeah, just check me out on Twitter, mostly there. So yeah.
Awesome. Marine, again, I'm so happy you were able to hop on. This was super duper fun. I can't wait for us to have like the backwards high five at Evo. Or not at Evo, at Combo Breaker.
I got you. Are you trying to see right now? Like, I can show you right now.
Wait, so what do you do? Like you twist your
here.
Like my arm doesn't go past this, so I got.
All right, I'll show you right now. Okay, I'm gonna get in the camera. So here, I wonder if I could just pull down my camera down a little bit. A little bit. Okay, so you just twist it like this, and then it's like this.
Wow. Does that do you feel any cracks or anything like that, or does it just go that far?
It just goes that far.
Wow, that's crazy. All right, I'm excited for that high five when we meet in person.
I got you, dude. It's gonna be so weird. People are gonna look at us like I'm at an FGC event. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, everybody there is a nerd anyway. So
yeah, right.
All right, Marine, I'm going to let you go. Thank you again so much for stopping by. I'd love to have you again on the show in the near future if you're up for it.
Yeah, of course. I'm always obliged to come through, talk some knowledge about fighting games, and just say, you know, just shoot the shit. Just hang out. Really. Love it.
Hell yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much. You have a good night, and I'll see you next week.
All right. I'll see you later. Bye.